Twilat anathlon amalhalla itham lai mechenin, im Lamaeron anathon ingolthor lin elam thindrim, thi menatham aningeliad gadui win. In today's lesson, we will discuss the Sindarin numbering system and numerals. We elves have two ways of thinking about numbers, the most basic of which is through tens, similar to the system of men. Let's take a look at the basic numbers 0 through 10, as used in the decimal system. The corresponding Tengwar numerals are also provided. Lat, Min, Tat, Neled, Kanat, Leben, Enek, Odok, Tolod, Nider, Pai. It should be noted that when using Tengwar numerals, the least significant place value is placed on the left, while the most significant is placed on the right, as you can see with the number 10. For numbers 11 through 19, most numbers are formed through a combination of the numbers 1 through 9 and a suffix in the form of B, M, or PH, which likely came from the word for 10, pi. The main exception is 12, which comes from a combination of U, meaning double, and the number 6, enek. Let's go through each of these numbers now. Minip, Unek, Nelep, Kanap, Lebem, Enev, Odov, Tolop, Nederv. For the tens place value numbers, they are essentially the numbers 1 through 9 combined with the compound form of 10, pain. Let's take a look at the word for each multiple of 10 from 20 through 90. Tavain, Nelvain, Kambain, Levain, Enevain, Odovain, Tolovain, Nedervain. In order to produce the numbers in between each multiple of 10, you simply combine the numbers 1 through 9 with a number for the multiple of 10 using the word "are", meaning "and". Numbers in Sindarin are almost always said from the smallest place value to largest, just as they are written using Tengwar numerals. Let's look at a few examples. Min atavain, Nedera henevain, Tolo the kambain, Lebena hodovain. For the hundreds place, we use the word haran, which follows a similar pattern to pain as used with multiples of 10. Here we can see the multiples of 100 from 100 to 900. Haran, Tacharan, Nelcharan, Kanacharan, Levaran, Enecharan, Adocharan, Tolocharan, Nedercharan. Again, we use the word "are", meaning "and", to produce numbers in between multiples of 100. Toloth alevain aharan, Tavain akanacharan, Leben ahenevain anelcharan, Neder anedervain anedercharan. Finally, for larger numbers we use the word menek to mean 1,000 in its plural form, menik. Menek, Tad menik, Neled menik, Kanat menik, Leben menik, Enek menik, Odok menik, Toloth menik, Neder menik, Pai menik. So far, we have covered quite extensively the decimal system of numbers used in Sindarin. However, as mentioned at the beginning of the lesson, we elves have two ways of thinking about numbers. The second way involves 12s instead of 10s, as many elven cultures have developed an affinity for multiples and factors of the number 12. In this system, based on 12s, numbers 0 through 12 remain the same as their decimal counterpart. The only difference is that 10 and 11 get their own numeral in Tengwar, and the number 12 is written as a 1 and a 0. For numbers above 12, you simply add a ones place value, that is, a number between 1 and 11, along with the word "a", meaning "and", to connect it to the word for 12. So for example, min a hunek, tad a hunek, nelith a hunek, and so on. For every multiple of 12 starting with 24, we increase the 12's place. We express this by placing a number between 1 and 11 in front of the plural form of 12. Tad unik, neleth unik, all the way to minib unik. It is perhaps easiest to think of these as dozens, so tad unik would be 2 dozens, neleth unik would be 3 dozens, and so on. To express a ones place value, simply say the number and use "and" to connect it to the 12's place value. So for example, min a tad unik, neder a henek unik. Finally, we can use the word host to express a gross, or 144, and similarly combine it with other numbers to make a place value for multiples of a gross. So, for example, host, tahost, nelhost, kanahost, levost, enehost, odohost, tolohost, nederhost. To avoid confusion, decimal numbers written with Tengwar numerals may be marked with overdots or overbars, while duodecimal numbers may be marked with underdots or underbars. Now, you may be wondering, when do we use the decimal system and when do we use the duodecimal system? In short, the decimal system is the most commonly used system in spoken Sindarin, used for quantifying objects, telling your age, and so on. The duodecimal system is a much later development and is primarily used for time and calculations. We will go into more detail about this in future lessons. In the next lesson, we will cover how to form the plural in Sindarin so that we can start using these numbers not only for counting but also for quantifying nouns. It is a bit complicated and definitely deserves a lesson on its own. For now, I want you to take these numbers written in Tengwar, write how they would be pronounced as well as their Arabic numeral equivalents. In addition, for those that are in duodecimal, try to convert them to their decimal counterparts using Arabic numerals. Lin hannon andiriad, tetho aninimebedid lin, analu e govenit win no vaer.